wanted to show you some ways that I maximize efficiency in grading and just maintaining my class at virtual school. So this is my OneNote notebook, and I used to do it in Evernote, but I like the organization of OneNote better. So let me kind of guide you through what I've got here. So for example, each class has a notebook. So you can see this is Environmental Science A, and then there's B. And so here's A, which is what I've been working through most so far this semester because, we're still in the A part. If I take assignment out or I reduce it for reduced coursework, I put it here and then I kind of explain why I did that. So the next semester I'll remember. If I have any extra like news announcements or things I need to post for students, I'll put it here. Like, for example, this is a wrong file format. I made this picture, but I'm not sure I like it. It feels kind of angry with the colors, so I may adjust it a little bit. This is the feedback for their handback form, the feedback for test corrections, and where I kind of make a note of their original grade on it so I make sure that they correct everything that they missed. And then if someone submits an assignment after the late window, I'll go ahead and put this feedback in here. Although technically it's not required. You can just leave your original 0 stamp in there and that's considered giving them feedback. Then in each module, I go ahead and I mark, see I have the handbook form twice. I go ahead and I mark, I make a page for each assignment. That way when I'm grading, I can really quickly get to it. I have the main feedback I'll leave students. This one was almost like a busy work assignment, so almost everyone got a perfect score on it, so I didn't have a lot of individualized feedback to leave them. So this is a discussion, so I'll put the discussion here so I remember what the prompt looks like, because you can't see it when you're replying to the students. You can't see what the prompt is, and I have trouble, I don't memorize them. This is the generalized feedback I'll leave for all students for a discussion. I've got it in HTML already, so I can just paste it in there real easily. This is some feedback that I leave them. I already have this first sentence in the rubric, so if they don't do something perfect, it'll automatically pop this first sentence in, but if I grade it before the due date, I add this extra sentence. Just so they know they can't edit it. These are different responses I left for the students, and you can see some of them are similar. Like this one mentioned food waste. This one was kind of like insects, but then I also kind of mentioned something else. So I kind of keep all my feedback, that way I can kind of keep what I've already done and kind of adjust it for each student as I need to. This is, for example, like an individualized feedback I would have left a student. So they may have just listed some web pages instead of the actual URL. This one is FRQs, and so they have the rubric online for the FRQs. So I've copied and pasted the picture of them so I can just see it right away. And then I have the feedback. The generalized feedback I leave them, and then if students lose points, I keep what I wrote for that. I go ahead and keep the feedback, that way I can use it for multiple students. For a test, I have the picture that I'll put in there that's in this above 70 image right here. That's what it's going to look like, that great work. And then I have feedback for above 70 and then feedback for below 70. And then as I'm grading the FRQs, or the short answer part of the test, this is some feedback that I might leave them. And then this is just what I did to edit the test. So, and you can see it's kind of the similar for all of them. So again, I've got the HTML of the generalized feedback, and then any detailed feedback I leave in the rubric is right here. If there's feedback I leave a lot, like I was saying for the discussions, I'll go ahead and put that in the rubric. So when I design the rubric, Like, for example, if you made like a perfect score on it, I'll make the feedback for that say excellent. And then when it copies and pastes into their folder, it'll say excellent. And then I don't have to leave any individualized feedback. It's already done. Or like if they don't earn a perfect score, it says like your submission needs some work. And then I can, put one of these things like the procedure is not included or something like that. That way I'm not retyping it every single time, which does make it a lot quicker. So I have that for each class. Then another thing I do is I have some like kind of housekeeping stuff. So when I set up the class, I have an order of how I like to do things. And so some of this, if I know what my class is going to be before I actually get access to the course in Brightspace, I can work on this stuff, like the edit schedule or the syllabus, that kind of stuff. I can do that, and I can even work on these course resource newsletters or announcements. Sorry, the son's in the background playing. I can kind of do that stuff before the course starts. So towards the end of the semester, it kind of dies down. I think it's not as busy, I feel like. And so I can go ahead and work on these things for the next semester while the current one is towards the end of the current one. That way I save some time there. I got this actually from you. I think I saved this because I thought it was really great. These are some news announcements I leave for students. So okay, here they are. So like each week, if a student turns in their assignment early, I'll, like before Wednesday, this news announcement will pop up for them. So basically it says on Tuesday, this day, if they have a submission and whatever's due that day or that week, they'll get this news announcement. That way, I hope to kind of like encourage them to turn in things early. These are jigsaw reminders. So these are all news announcements I can post into my course, and I can do it really, really quickly. That way I don't, I'm saving it every semester. These are APES ones for specific assignments that might need an extra one, a news announcement. Things that are due today. These are for different labs. So any news announcement I make, I try and save it. That way I've got it. Then I have a plan on how I want to do my news announcements. And so this is all like at the beginning of the semester. So this is kind of tiny. You can't really see it as well. But basically what this is it shows, I'm uploading a video in the background, so that's why I'm getting this pinwheel of death. So this is kind of showing what I wanted to be each week, and then here it is. And then as it sets up, or as I set it up, I'll bold it and I'll say what dates I set it for, and that way I have an idea. So it takes me some time, but I just like watch Netflix and upload news announcements, so it's not like terrible. And again, you can do this before the course. I try and do as much as I can before the class starts, but you can do it, after the course starts. I just like not having to worry about the news analysis. This is like the what I want to do for Jigsaw each week. That way I know. These are some help videos I made for students. That way I've got them. And these are like any emails that I send the students. I'll kind of, if it's like a bulk kind of email or something I might want to use again, I'll save it. So this is like my welcome email. This is for a student asking for an extension request. This is a student trying to have some trouble with the textbook, or like the first missing week, first due date, or the due date's coming up. This one I sent a student because she turned in her stuff for the next week, but didn't turn in the stuff that was due this week, so I was a little worried about that. This is if they'd like to switch schedules, or this is anything like that. I'll leave them and I'll say like female and male, so I don't forget to change like the pronouns. So, and all that stuff is helpful because even if it's not going to send something exactly like that, I can still send something similar. So it's helpful to me anyway. I keep all the helpful links together, like how to set up the course schedule, the course catalog. So this is where you could actually find all of the courses that we have. So like when I said you don't have access to the course, how can you set it up? Well, that's where you see like all the assignments and things like that. This is again, because there's all sorts of stuff at virtual school and I get lost. So this is me kind of trying to keep track of my master teacher progress, any AP stuff, professional learning. This is like the fall 2018 things. If I do a professional learning or something like that, I have it here. So I put, all that info here. That way when I've got it all together, any important information. Finals versus milestones when I'm doing policies, any remediation or anything like that. Extension requests, the extension request link. Any special needs, like important stuff. When I was taking my special needs course, I looked through this stuff and I found this stuff was kind of helpful, so I just went ahead and saved it. Just some tutorials, important teacher links like our handbook or the observation framework, that kind of stuff. And you can see some stuff might be in here twice because usually it's because I don't realize I've already saved it and then I put it in here. I've been putting the faculty meetings, I've been trying to put them in here. Sometimes I forget and I still put them in Evernote, but I've been trying to switch everything over to this. Professional learning. See, I put all my professional learning stuff in the helpful links section, so I didn't move it. But anyway, this keeps me really, really organized, and it just helps me be more efficient with my grading. I'm in this section a lot. I don't even close this Evernote notebook during the semester because this OneNote during the semester because I'm always using